Alright, I'm going to give it a minute to let my cameraman take a seat before we get started. Alright everyone, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come out and listen to a little bit of presentation. Hope you'll enjoy what I have to say. Before I get started, just wanted to quickly introduce myself. My name is Avitia. I am a mother and a wife, and I say that because that's what led me to want to learn a little bit about herb gardening. So today, my mini presentation that you'll get to enjoy will be about how to start your own herb garden, should you ever decide to start your own herb garden. So what I'll be sharing is going to be, again, it's going to be just some tips that I've learned along the way and on my journey. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first place I want to start is obviously just thinking about, for me, when I picked to start herb gardening, I wanted to start herb gardening because I enjoy cooking. So that's why I picked it. But there are so many different things that herbs can be used for. That you can use it for cooking, like I said. You can use it for medicinal purposes. You can use it for, there's many home uses for it. And I just have a couple from each of them, but there are so many out there, there are so many different purposes out there for these, for so many different types of herbs. For medicinal, I thought it was interesting that, thyme can be used for acne, and you do other things with them, but the main, ingredient of what you'll be using it would be your thyme. And then it also reduces inflammation. Rosemary is good for digestion, and it's also good for cooking. For home use, you have lavender and sage, which are the most popular ones, used for like soap, potpourri, stuff like that. And then again, cooking, you cook Mexican food, you might want to grow some cilantro, oregano, Italian cuisine, maybe some parsley, some basil. So these are just a few ideas out there why you might want to grow your herb garden. And for me, like I said, it was cooking. So where to start after you've decided, what you want to grow. You'll first want to decide, do you want to start from plant? Do you want to start from seed? Me personally, I chose to do plant because it saves time, and as I mentioned, I have a family, so saving time is definitely important to me. It does cost a little bit more. It's not too much more, but it does cost a little bit more to start off your garden from plant. Of course, it is going to depend on how big you want your garden to be, but seed is more cost efficient. There are way more varieties if you start from seed, meaning like in your local stores or plants. Your local store will only have a few plants. But for what I wanted to do, plant work, because some of the herbs that I'll be using in my garden would, have some of the most commonly used herbs that you can find. Seed obviously is going to take a lot longer to grow than would a plant. And you'll find these, again, in your local home garden, maybe Callery's, Home Depot, Walmart. You'll find those there. And, once you've decided, what you want to use, whether you want to use a plant or start from seeds, you'll want to decide where you want to grow. And that's going to determine, how big you want or how little you want your garden to be. And I think this is the fun task, picking out maybe the container, or maybe building your own raised beds, or, if you decide you want to start your whole backyard and do it as an in-ground garden. So pots and containers, obviously you're going to have many sizes, colors, and shapes. Raised beds, you'll have a larger garden, but sometimes usually it's a little bit more expensive to get started with the raised beds. And then with in-ground, you'll be able to grow much larger quantities, much more variety. And one thing you have to consider, it's not going to be mobile. You're going to have to keep that, outside. You won't be able to bring it, so during the winter months you may not have as many herbs. And then one thing that I did find is interesting on raised beds was Mark Cox, which is the author of growing your plants in pots. he did mention that some herbs have a tendency, once you plant them, they just spread out really quickly. So if you want to control them, raised beds is definitely the way to go. Otherwise, if you don't mind having your backyard full of mint, then go for in-ground for your herbs. And last but not least, you have caring for your garden. You know, you have pest control soil, sun and water. For pest control, most herbs are going to be resistant to insects. So that's one of the reasons I chose to start with herbs and not fruits and, you know, vegetables, because those attract more insects. So I did read that, you know, those are more resistant. And then if you do have some, insecticidal soap will do the trick. Your local home garden can show you, you know, point you in the right direction there. Pick any infested areas. You know, very simple to control weeds, to control pests in your plants. For soil, you just want to use your appropriate fertilizer, and again, your local home garden store will be able to help you with that. But herbs are very, very simple. Sun and water, last but not least, the most important. You know, you'll want to determine, most plants grow, or most herbs grow the best with direct sunlight, and that's about 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. So take that into consideration when you're figuring out, you know, what kind of garden and, you know, what type of herbs you want to grow, how much sunlight you get, where do you want to grow. And then water during, you know, warmer months, you'll want to water them. I read, you know, want to water them at least a couple times during the day, maybe more if you see that they're drying out. But it's very, again, very, very, very simple caring for an herb garden, which is what I found very interesting and encouraged me to start my own herb garden. So that's all I have for you today. Happy gardening. I hope that you enjoyed my mini presentation, I mean, maybe later on in the future you decide to even start your own herb garden. So thank you for taking the time out.